Hi, I'm Cosmo. What's going on, my beautiful bros and girls out there? And welcome back to another evolution reaction. Today we're going to be looking at the evolution of Nosferatu Count Orlok, one of the first horror movies to ever come in this universe. It's actually based on the 1922 German silent horror film, which just so happens to be the oldest surviving adaptation of Dracula. And this film was not illegally to be sold, and it was ordered to burn all the copies of the movie. But some did survive, and the film turned out to be a grand and classic of the 1922 of German. There's been spawning so many sequels, remakes, and cartoon appearances about our lovable Count Orlok. We're gonna be diving into his live-action evolution, and let me know which Count Orlok is your favorite. So, without further chit-chat, let's get right into it.
Evolution of Nosferatu. Count Orlok, also known as Nosferatu, first appears as the main antagonist and title character of the classic 1922 silent expressionist horror movie Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, based on the novel Dracula. Portrayed by Max Schreck, he resembles folkloric vampires more than Dracula, being thoroughly repulsive, sporting a bald head, a beak-like nose, hollowed-out eyes, pointed ears, and sharp fingernails. His fangs, rather than being elongated canines, are positioned at the front of his mouth like those of a rat. He walks with a slow and labored gait, and his attire consists of a long black coat and tight pants, which give the impression of skeletal limbs tightly wrapped in funereal clothes. In the movie, it is known that he resides alone in a vast and deteriorating castle hidden among the rugged peaks in a lost corner of the Carpathian Mountains. At first, he poses as a nobleman from Transylvania who moves to the fictional city of Wisborg in Germany, concealing himself in one of his soil-filled coffins, and brings death with him as a result of his vampiric nature. He spreads disease and plague, forcing the local authorities to declare a quarantine and provoking hysteria amongst the citizens. At some point, he stalks and attacks the beautiful young wife of real estate agent Thomas Hutter's assistant, Ellen, in her room, but during the pleasure of drinking her blood, he is caught unaware by the rays of the rising sun, suddenly realizing his mistake, and is then burned away in a cloud of smoke, ending his reign of horror. Next, Nosferatu appears as Count Dracula and the main antagonist of the 1979 remake of the 1922 movie Nosferatu the Vampire, portrayed by the late Klaus Kinski. He is based upon the original character Count Orlok, as well as the character from the original novel Dracula. Unlike the original character, this version is a tragic character who is weary of an eternal life spent alone in the dark, thirsting for human blood while yearning for human company that he can never have. At the beginning of the movie, when he invites Jonathan Harker to his castle, he bites him during his sleep, infecting him with the vampiric curse, and eventually travels to town. Also, he has managed to already bring the plague to said town, killing hundreds, including every last one of the authorities. However, Jonathan's wife, Lucy, finds that she can vanquish Dracula by distracting him at dawn, but at the expense of her own life. At the first light of day, he collapses to the floor, petrified, but Van Helsing drives a stake through the heart of the Count to make sure Lucy's sacrifice was not in vain, killing him in the process. In the 1988 Italian horror movie Nosferatu in Venice, which is a sequel in name only, Nosferatu again appears, featuring Kinski in the title role, where he now desires a way to finally obtain the eternal death when he's reawakened in the 1980s by a seance. However, his design changed due to Kinski rejecting Orlok's rat-like makeup, resulting in him appearing too human, with a set of fangs as the only indicator of him being a gothic horror monster. Nosferatu makes his appearance as a villain in the TV show Are You Afraid of the Dark, in the episode The Tale of the Midnight Madness, portrayed by Christopher Heyerdahl. At the beginning, he appears in a rare version of the classic vampire movie Nosferatu, which is shown in the theater where Pete and Katie worked, and their boss was Mr. Christoph. Later, Nosferatu himself came out of the movie, bit Christoph's neck, and wanted to get Pete and Katie as well. However, because of them devising a clever plan, he got tricked into entering back into the movie by Pete, who then, knowing how it is supposed to end, opened the curtains on a window and killed him with the sunlight. A parody version of Count Orlok, better known as Nosferatu or Kid Feratu as a child, appears as a supporting antagonist in the animated TV show
SpongeBob
SpongeBob
SquarePants.
He was played by the late Max Schreck through archive footage from the movie in the episode Graveyard Shift, and for the rest of the episodes he was portrayed by Alexander Ward. In the TV show, Nosferatu wants to scare as many people as he can, as shown when he tries to scare SpongeBob and Squidward in the episode Graveyard Shift. He, like his original counterpart, is shown to have a thirst for blood and also want to become a famous supervillain in the episode Captain Pipsqueak, as shown when he auditions for the EVIL Every Villain is Lemon's squad. Nosferatu next appears in the main role in the 2018 movie Mimesis Nosferatu, where he is played by Calhoun Koenig. In this movie, when the Harker Arts Academy Drama Club produces a play based on the 1922 silent horror movie, reality and fiction collide, causing an ancient vampire similar to Nosferatu to begin hunting them. In the prequel SpongeBob spin-off, Camp Coral, SpongeBob's Underyears, Nosferatu as Kid Feratu first appears in the episode Cabin of Curiosities, where he meets SpongeBob and Patrick with other monsters. In another episode, Painting with Squidward, Kid Feratu is seen painting a self-portrait that parodies the scream as Mr. Krabs announces an art contest, but then hisses, and the painting rolls away to his surprise. Nosferatu appears as the titular main antagonist of the 2023 horror movie Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, which is a shot-for-shot remake of the 1922 silent movie being portrayed by Doug Jones. He looks almost identical to his original version, being tall and bald with pointy ears, thick eyebrows, sharp rat-like teeth, and long claws, but also with normal human-looking eyes. He sports a dark coat like that of hunters, dark pants and shoes, and occasionally a dark black robe with a pointy hood. In the story, he is also a cruel, malevolent, and cold-hearted vampire that seeks to bring about a plague across Europe for his own amusement and get the blood of a woman named Ellen Hutter. However, despite all of his cruelty, and unlike his original counterpart, this version of Nosferatu still has a bit of a soft heart left in him. Feeling guilty about killing Ellen and feasting on her blood all night, he committed suicide by having himself vaporized in sunlight. In the 2023 short movie The Tomb of Nosferatu, two filmmakers traveled to Germany to shoot an homage to the 1922 movie Nosferatu and visit the graves of those who made the silent horror masterpiece. In doing so, they unleashed a dark shadow of Nosferatu from cinema's past. Next, Nosferatu appears as the main antagonist of the 2024 Gothic supernatural horror movie Nosferatu, which is a remake of the 1922 silent movie portrayed by Bill Skarsgård. Although this Nosferatu has some similarities to the original version, this character has a more corpse-like appearance, with most of his body being rotten. He also lacks eyebrows. One side of his head is bald, and the other side has hair combed to the left. He also has a bushy mustache, making him bear an extremely close resemblance to Dracula from Bram Stoker's original novel. Originally, Nosferatu was a Solomonari who was cursed by the devil to become a vampire. Similar to the original movie, he is portrayed as a completely cruel and merciless monster, something he himself acknowledges as he refers to himself as nothing more than an appetite. He is completely uncaring towards others and views people as victims to drain blood from. Although he tries to hide his monstrous nature through a polite facade, the heartless beast still shines through, and it doesn't take long for him to show his true, inhumane colors. Also, he grows infatuated with Thomas Hutter's wife, Ellen Hutter, ever since she was young, having developed an exploitative psychic bond with her, and becomes angered over her marriage with Thomas. His obsession makes him very possessive and extremely savage, as illustrated by him committing a large number of heinous acts just to finally get to Ellen and drink her blood. In the live sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live, the original Nosferatu appears in the episode Dave Chappelle Glorilla, who is portrayed by Sarah Sherman. Here, Nosferatu stops by Weekend Update to discuss the new Nosferatu movie.
And that, boys and girls, that was the evolution of Nosferatu, Count Orlok. I want you to know, what was your favorite Count Orlok design? Which movie was your favorite? And I gotta say, my favorite one has gotta be the 1979 remake with Klaus Kinski. I did love that movie so much because I had it in my collection of DVDs. I also love the 2024 Super remake with Bill Skarsgård because he did play Pennywise in It and It Chapter 2. I'm so excited. I don't know if they're gonna make any more Nosferatu movies, but we're gonna see about that. Anyways, smash me some big likes. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Turn on your post notifications bell on. And make sure to share this one with your buddies and girlfriends if you haven't to. I will be in the next video. Bye bye to all of you, bros and girls. Bros out. Fist out.